Alright, what's up YouTube? It's your boy, Run Riot, aka Wendy's drive-through microphone. Um, did a doubles tier list with Tempo, thought it'd be a good start for a video. If you have any feedback, let me know in terms of videos. This one I know is a long one, but it's like a very detailed explanation of every placing of our tier list, so if you really want to know why we picked the things that we did in that order, you can watch the whole video and find out. It was streamed on my Twitch. The results are on my Twitter. I'll probably have all that in the comments. So enjoy. Bottom up or top to bottom? It would be more interesting. Well, no, because the best character is kind of unanimous, right?
I mean, it should be.
Okay.
But then it's like those few other characters underneath them that is usually the interest.
What if we do Fox first and then everything else bottom to top?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. I think that one's kind of like
that's just
if somebody wants to argue that,
good luck.
Good luck. Okay. So now we start. So the worst, huh? The worst. So
are you counting Sopo as its own character or like
no,
just ice?
I don't even know why. Like, I guess I just can I like get rid of them or okay?
No, I think they're just they're stuck. It's okay.
And
oh, you can add your own row. Oh, there you go. This is what you wanted.
I have done this before once. Okay. Should I just put regular ice climbers? No, I'm just kidding. Just both of them at once.
I mean, what's the difference? You should also put the Sheik Zelda combo there. I don't know why that's.
Oh yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me change. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. I'm actually curious. Who do you think is the worst?
The actual worst. So I'm gonna say, because like I've played against Kirby's. Kirby's I don't think is the worst.
I don't think Kirby's the worst either.
Mewtwo I don't think is the worst. Zelda I don't think is the worst. She's pretty bad, pretty damn bad. But I don't think she.
I think she's close.
Yeah, she's pretty damn close. She's absolutely down there. The only thing she literally provides is just her fair and bear. There's nothing more she provides. I would probably say, honestly, probably Bowser.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's Bowser.
He has stuff, for sure. He actually has a decent amount of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that you can ignore him at the ledge, which is kind of like one of his better. He actually has some pretty good teams combos. He really does. Like, if you leave him alone, forward air into something else into Bowser up air is legit a kill at like sometimes 70%. Which is like
it's terrifying.
It's just too situational, I think, is the problem. It's like setting that up is just not feasible because you can just ignore him.
Yeah, exactly.
I think ignoring him is literally like his biggest issue, and like, you know, if he forces an approach, what's the plan? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, it's true. Like, he has his up B out of shield that's good in singles, but like, okay, sure, you hit the one guy with your up B out of shield, but then you have to deal with his teammate that can now clearly punish.
Yeah, it's
you know,
like he's not the worst in his sandwich, but like, it's kind of like even if he does up B, like, what do you don't get anything off of it. You get something, but it's not worth it. Overall, it's not worth it. So I think he's definitely the worst. I think Zelda's terrible. In the way that I view teams, I think Zelda's awful.
Oh, Zelda can't contribute anything. It's just like all she can do is hit her strong fair bear, and that's as good as it gets. You use her to recover as Sheik, and then you transform back as soon as possible, and you're done.
The problem I have with Zelda is that being predictable in doubles is like, it's just such a horrible thing to be, right? Like, it doesn't matter if what you're doing is a decent option, if it's a character that's that predictable with that much end lag, like it's so hard to justify. Like, first of all, 2v1s, she loses every 2v1 and they get to like, if I'm thinking of like all of these characters, she loses a 2v1 to every single one of these characters by like, it's not close. Like, you bait out, you wait right outside that range, and like she can threaten an empty hop, but then you approach at the same time, and it's like, well, your best option is Zelda Nair at that point. Like, it's just not. Like, other characters just deal with that situation so much better than she does. Her recovery is really predictable and laggy, and I know there's like some very situational, unique Zelda. I mean, her dash attack is decent.
You have panic, like crouch cancel, down smash if you really need, even though it's the world's smallest range.
I mean, her up throw chain grab is pretty okay on spacies.
But if you're really like chain grabbing as Zelda in teams, I feel like you got big juice going.
You can. I think for me, Zelda could punish bad teams players harder, but I don't think it necessarily makes the character better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where, like, if you play someone who isn't that great, sure, you can hit all your picks for days, but that doesn't make her good.
I can't wait to get to like the middle of the tier list, because I think my opinion is just not close to other people's. So I can't wait for like the spice.
Oh, I'm very curious. Yeah, I was looking at it. I'm like, I wonder where you place like Mario, like Luigi.
Yeah.
You know, like those Doc, like those middle characters. I'm genuinely curious, like, where you consider them.
Okay. So for me personally, it's between Ness and Roy. I think Mewtwo has a kill throw, obviously. Shadow Ball's a decent projectile. Long, albeit risky hitboxes. He doesn't really get sandwiched all that hard. He's got a really long roll. And he's got a decent punish game on a lot of the cast. Nair is a really good move.
Nair is godlike in teams.
Nair is a really good move. MRGW played a lot of Mewtwo in teams.
I played. My old teammate used to play a lot of Mewtwo. So I'm used to teaming with one, so I know what that character can do.
Yeah,
pretty good at.
Disable, grab release. I don't know. We'll get into that later, but
yeah.
Ness, Roy.
So I think for me, it's probably Roy. Only because for me, like, Ness can still do a few things. Like, he's got double jump cancel Nairs, double jump cancel bears. His recovery is ass, but so is Roy's. He has actually like a solid back throw.
He's a kill throw.
You know, he's got like a few things in his kit that I think are better than Roy. Like, yeah, Roy's got down tilt. Roy has, pretty quick ground speed. Like, his aerials to some extent can be combo friendly, but they're usually pretty whack. And sure, he's got the F smash that can kill, but I feel like Ness just has a little bit more that he offers specifically.
Yeah.
And the fact that Roy's also like heavy, I think doesn't help him.
Doesn't help at all.
The fact that he's like this heavy character that really doesn't have a good get off me button either in teams is almost a death sentence.
Yeah, his counter is bad. Not that counters are a great option, but it's something, and his is even worse than something.
Yeah.
So like, for me, in terms of their weaknesses, honestly, their recovery might be equally just as bad. I think Ness's has somewhat of an advantage of it, like, stalling in midair. Like, stalling off stage in doubles can be pretty valuable, albeit you don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
Most of the time. But Roy just doesn't do anything productive without space, and I think for me that's a huge problem. Yeah. It's part of the reason that I don't think Pikachu's that amazing, is because when a character requires space, it's too easy to take advantage of a character that requires space. It's just not it's not feasible to think that Roy could do much that's productive. Also, his team combo game is kind of questionable. I mean, you can neutral B and maybe get a Nair if they don't fall out of it. but it's mostly honestly just neutral B. It's like his team combo move, and that's it. Like,
Yep.
which is really weird. I don't like how laggy that is. Ness Nair is a really good team combo move.
It's so
insane.
good.
Yeah. Ness Nair is also, I think, better. Even, I don't know, it's just, Ness Nair is just pretty valuable, so I guess we put them in.
Yeah. At least Ness Dare consistently hits them down, you know.
Yeah. And, like, down tilt, he's got, like, I don't know, his edge guarding seems, in terms of situational, maybe it doesn't hit as hard as Roy's, but I feel like Ness is harder to remove from a certain spot than Roy is.
Yeah, I could see that. I could absolutely see that.
Alright, so I guess that leaves one character above that, because I think Pichu is way better than Kirby in teams. Like,
yes, I hard agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Pichu, I mean, yeah. Pichu's got a pretty solid kit, other than Pichu being Pichu.
Okay. So does Mewtwo? Who do you think is better between Mewtwo and Pichu?
Honestly, that's a little tough because
Pichu's
up air is amazing in just because it's like a fixed knockback in teams if you combo it right. He has a frame 3 jump, so he's got like a nice nair.
It's hard to sandwich him.
It's pretty damn hard to sandwich him. He does die just blowing up.
Mewtwo's the same way.
Yeah, that's true. But Pichu does have one of the strongest up smashes, which is amazing. His recovery is really good and can be very tricky and evasive.
This down smash is pretty valuable by the ledge too.
Yeah, down smash is pretty damn clutch.
He's got a projectile. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Dying early in teams to me isn't a huge deal at all, because for me it's establishing a position and then a punish. It's not like you randomly die, so if you're not... Pichu can be really squirrely and hard to kill, and like Mewtwo can teleport, but I think that it starts to get a little predictable. Like, you can't just teleport center stage against a lot of teams.
Yeah, he's a little too floaty, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's too slow.
Yeah.
He's not good. Mewtwo's not good on the scramble, I don't think, except maybe DJC Nair.
Yeah, that's
Shadow Ball out of a jump, I guess. Like, I guess. So
for me, I personally think that Pichu is better than Mewtwo.
Here's my issue. This is the one I'm gonna have a problem. I think Game & Watch is clearly better than Pichu. But Pichu, yeah. I've
seen Game & Watch do stuff.
Game & Watch actually does pretty well in teams against a lot of the cast, and it's surprising. But he actually will die to any pressure. Like, he just can't stand pressure at all. So you have a jack of all trades where all your tools are terrible, or you have like a pretty decent option, but it's abusable. But it takes two people to abuse it for the most part. You can definitely abuse it somewhat, but Light Shield and doubles usually buys enough time. I mean, if they grab... I mean, I played a lot of Pikachu Game & Watch. And...
Weird team comp, but okay.
Yeah, it kind of went as you'd expect. Game & Watch just sits behind Pikachu. That's where he's the most productive, is kind of like Marth Jr., but it's riskier.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched Curb in my region play teams, and Curb does a really good job with Game & Watch, but he is relatively one-dimensional. That's the problem.
He is one-dimensional.
I believe, yeah. I mean, no, he's two-dimensional if you want to get technical, but gameplay-wise, he's pretty one-sided. But that's hard. Watch.
It is hard. So, something that's underrated, by the ledge, Game & Watch's neutral B, if you get the pan hitbox, is actually a straight-up kill on most of the cast. It's a semi-spike. And so that's... Yeah, it's actually really good. His edge guarding in general, and his offstage is really good. I feel like, on a human level, Oh, but Pichu has so many good like. I think Pichu just does a worse matchup spread against most good teams.
Probably. So it's like it's interesting to me. I feel like Pichu can almost do more than Game and Watch, but Game and Watch can do better things than Pichu. If that makes
Yeah.
It's like Pichu has the better kit, but Game and Watch is just better at the things that he does.
Pichu loses to a lot of standing or hitboxes in place, which I don't like. It's hard to play teams without being able to beat a hitbox in place.
Yeah, absolutely. And God forbid Pichu's playing against like a floaty. Pichu does not have a good time against that.
Definitely gets less productive.
Yes, absolutely.
And then, I mean, if we're talking Pichu's up smash, Game & Watch's up smash isn't that far off.
It's not. It's just it's a little bit slower is all.
Yeah, it's got like no end lag though.
But usually what Game & Watch is going for is like his combo finisher is like Nair.
Yeah.
Grab the Nair is his big thing, yeah.
Him having a kill confirm and a chain grab on like the entire cast is pretty insane. His throws are also really good for teams.
Yes, absolutely. They're very team friendly.
Pichu's up throws a little team friendly. His back throw, I mean, it's just like utility by the ledge. His down throws, okay. His forward throws, okay. They're not bad by any means.
They're not terrible, but you have to like really be ready for them. Like at the higher percents, they move pretty quick. But like Game & Watches, they usually pop up and they're stuck there for a hot minute, so you can react to it pretty nicely.
Okay, so I think Pichu goes here. I'm thinking about Kirby. It's hard because Kirby doesn't have good throws. His back air, his up tilt, and his dare are insane. Like, for teams in particular, those three moves are like, you could legitimately be... You could be a real threat with Kirby with just those three moves. Kirby's crouch is really good. Shockingly good. His up air is not bad at all. His forward air is pretty decent for some longer lasting stuff. His recovery is bad, but it's not that bad. I think it's better than Ness's for the most part. Even though
it's definitely better.
Predictable.
It's definitely better than Ness's, but I think more so because he has jumps.
Yeah.
But once he up Bs, he loses those jumps. I think one of Kirby's biggest weaknesses is honestly more so his mobility between the ground and the air.
Yeah.
He's pretty slow is the problem. Like up air is really strong. You get the right hitbox of up air and he's gonna kill someone.
Yeah, you kind of need platforms to be in a situation where you can truly react. But it's kind of like, I mean, Peach gets away with it. Kirby's back air is really good for team combos. And like, yeah, you may not be able to get a kill on reaction to a lot of stuff, but I feel like he's good enough at walling out to justify him being better than Ness. I don't think Ness is that great at walling, which is a big problem in teams. I mean, maybe forward air, but like...
Yeah, no. Kirby can wall out better than Ness, for sure. I mean his throws don't do anything in terms of team, really. Because he only has the up throw and the down throw. That's as
the
good
down
as
throw is really good because it sets up a guaranteed. If you're with your teammate, it's a guaranteed you'll get a punish off it. Because Kirby can roll towards one direction and then the other character covers the other three.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. Up throw sends at a really good angle, but you do lose all of your jumps when you up throw. But I think that's still better than having a kill throw and small hitboxes that do good things. Is like, it's okay, but the range and the recovery I don't think justify it being over Kirby.
Yeah, that I agree with.
Okay, so here's the question: do we put Game & Watch at the bottom of the next tier or in front of Pichu? Because I feel like there's it might be like a decent jump.
So I mean, it depends how you value the tier list, right? Like, what is D in your eyes, and then what is C? Is like D like completely unviable, like only play in like friendlies, and then C is like, you know, more viable but really shouldn't use them, or like what is the jump between D to in your eyes?
The jump between C and D is there being the amount of variation you might need in your game plan to deal with that character's tools. Which I think Game & Watch actually offers a pretty sizable like threat in enough situations for him to be a lot better. Because Pichu isn't actually a threat in a lot of situations. Like
Yeah,
I wouldn't yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me. That clarification helps a lot. Okay, so who do I think is right above Game & Watch?
Who do you think? Because I'm looking at like 2 characters, 2 maybe 3.
Somebody's gonna be really mad at me for this.
I'm curious who you're thinking, because again, it's like 1 of 3 characters for me, and if you say any of those 3, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's got to be Ganon, dude. I can't look at every other character. Maybe Donkey Kong.
Okay, I was thinking Donkey Kong. I would have probably put Ganon in the C tier, but like above Donkey Kong in my eyes.
Okay.
But if you can, if you can explain it, and it makes sense, it makes.
A lot of the problem DK has is sort of similar to Ganon, actually. I don't think Ganon. I think Ganon is annoying, but I don't think that makes him very good. 2v1s against Ganon are like unwinnable. And not only are 2v1s kind of unwinnable, he has like no real. He has a very designated threat range with no speed, and Donkey Kong is kind of the same way, but I feel like Donkey Kong can like at least be enough of a threat. Like when I think of Ganon, right, and he approaches, like I mean he full hops and then or he short hops and then let's say he forward airs, but I mean you roll through him, right? Like what position does Ganon hold, or what threat does Ganon hold that is legitimately better than the way that Donkey Kong would do it? Because to me they're very similar, but one just seems to be a lot better.
So in my eyes, the way I see it is that a good Ganon player, you have his like waveland movement, and in my head, I'm also thinking platform. Like
Yeah.
on FD, like it could be easily DK is better. But in terms of like Ganon, when I tried playing him, or like a few years back, like really picking him up, I wasn't like one of those Ganons that would just like full hop fair all the time. I would like really play the ground game in terms of like waveland, like jabs, F tilts, even just like the reverse hit of like up air, more back airs and fairs, honestly.
He could definitely be tricky. He also has good team combos. The problem, him not having. Here's the thing, right? So like the way that you were describing a good Ganon, that is a good Ganon, and waveland movement can be hard. But the way that you describe like the ground game, I feel like Donkey Kong legitimately just, if you were to play the ground game in a similar like fashion, he just gets so much more off of his hits consistently. He has an out of shield option. He's better on the ledge. His cargo down throw is one of the best teams throws in the game. Shoutouts to Stango for showing me that throw is ridiculous in teams. It really is.
The cargo down throw. Oh my.
Cargo down throw is amazing. Cargo up throws usually amazing. It depends on who it's on. But I feel like back air just Donkey Kong being annoying by the ledge with up B is pretty important. Basically, in my head, there are situations where Ganon can be easily abused, where Donkey Kong cannot easily be abused. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Like like we have NJ's Finest, who was one of the best DKs, especially back in. And he was like, I watched like old videos of him and like his back air placement with like DK and like the punish game with him and everything. It's really good. Like I've watched him play against game stuff before.
Yeah.
And I definitely can see it. That's what, like, you explaining it, I can see DK being over Ganon. I think in my head, I'm still a little bit biased with Ganon. More so because when because now I'm thinking singles. I shouldn't be thinking singles, but like I'm thinking of Ganon's like invincible waveland off of platform. He takes forever to kill, which like is a blessing and a curse because he takes also forever to come back.
Yeah.
Which definitely sucks.
He also, I mean,
Mhm.
I don't like thinking of saves as like a viable, because saves, when you start playing really good teams, saves are risky without projectiles in the first place, right? So like, yeah, Luigi can save. Let's say he nairs, right? Like not including fireball. Let's say Luigi run off nairs. Like, yeah, he can save, but at what cost? You know what I mean? Like, what do you risk? What do you risk by going for a save? And it's usually how good a character is on the ledge, right? That kind of determines how well they can save as a whole if they don't rely on projectiles to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ganon, I don't think can save worth a shit. I really don't. I don't see it. Donkey Kong can't really either. He can up B out and then he kind of has to come back. But him coming back, some characters can't reliably punish. Falco can do it. Marth can do it. Maybe Sheik Fair beats out Donkey Kong up B 100% of the time. I'm not sure. But sometimes you get an annoying trade, or it can beat you outright if you're not prepared for it. Peach can beat it with forward air, I'm sure. But in terms of consistency, I'm just not sure, because I think Ganon holds a position better. But I feel like even if Donkey Kong doesn't hold center as well, the things he gets off of his, especially on fast fallers, the risk reward for getting a punish if you get time is pretty good, and if you don't get time, it's not the end of the world. Up B's pretty okay. I think his backwards roll is pretty okay.
Okay.
It's kind of,
I can see it.
it's kind of hard. There's some gimmicky, nuanced stuff, like Donkey Kong's side being a character on purpose to buy time. His down B actually has some combos, like with, you don't, it's not a true wobble, but you can get solid percent in a 2v1. I think Ganon is tricky, but I don't think that necessarily makes him a better team's character. I think that just means he can mix you up well. So, I guess as we get through the tier list, the definition of a good team's character becomes much more important because the gap gets smaller.
Yeah.
For me, the number one rule of thumb for me is creating a position and then holding it. Some characters are better at one end of the spectrum than the other. Fox is better at creating a position IMO than holding it. Marth is better at holding it than creating it. That sort of thing. And Donkey Kong and Ganon both hold it, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely. They cannot just magically create space like that.
Yeah, I think Ganon is a little better at creating space, which can be valuable, but usually it's not something he would ever want to do.
Right.
Whereas Donkey Kong, like, approaching back air is okay. Donkey Kong's dash dance isn't that bad. And when Donkey Kong gets on a platform, it's kind of the same threat range, I feel like. But he has to be facing a certain direction, which can be a problem. So
yeah. That was like one of the big things I was also thinking in my head, that like he unfortunately, like, to be at his best has to specifically face direction.
I have played some Donkey Kongs who can mitigate him facing forward by being on reaction, but it is hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. This is tough.
It's tricky. It's one of those things where like it's very close, right? Because like they're
It is
essentially just going to
very
be like
close.
one over the other. Like whichever you pick, it's like they're right there. Essentially, they're next to each other.
So I'll list the quick things that I think of when I think of each character.
Mm-hmm.
Ganon holds a position much better. That's pretty much the only positive. that really is like that's it. Like he holds a position really well, and he can approach on some characters. Like Ices, he can legitimately approach.
Oh yeah, you just showed up fair for days.
Floaties, he can legitimately approach.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like versus everyone else, Donkey Kong just deals with much better. Like I think Donkey Kong deals with projectiles a lot better. I think he deals with Falcon a lot better. Mostly any fast faller, honestly. He can stall for time with his cargoes. He has no reliance on... He doesn't need to have a teammate to be worthwhile, which is obviously also, like, really good. Having an out of shield in doubles is just seems too good to pass up.
It's very strong. There's not many characters that do.
Like, a strong up B out of shield really does keep you from getting bullied. Like, you can bully Ganon. You really can take advantage of him.
Oh yeah, he has to sit in shield and then either buffer roll or like Hail Mary up B, but even then there's a decent amount of startup on his up B. You can punish it and deal with it relatively easily.
There's also not a lot of characters. Even if you, let's say you shoot a laser or something to try to stop the sandwich, Ganon more so, that's not even guaranteed to help Ganon get out. Like, he's still in danger. And roll is just not a good enough out of shield option in doubles. It just isn't. There's too much ground being covered by two people.
Yeah, absolutely. The best thing he's got besides the up B is jab, and even then it's unless they're at like a high percent, jab really isn't going to do much. Especially if there's two people on you, it's like, you know.
So if I'm thinking, right, let's say I'm playing Fox and I had to pick one.
Like to be on your team, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you play Fox. I can't have a valid opinion so much on that, unfortunately. My Fox is ass.
Fox is just kind of like a generic, just does everything really well, so like you're not trying to cover Fox's weaknesses, it's more so the other way around.
Yeah, it's like what can Fox cover to like make them a complete character?
I just feel like yeah, DK not being able to face forward is kind of a problem, but I mean Ganon can face forward, but it is really easy to stuff it, so to me it's not super different.
Yeah, I can see that.
Ganon also really has trouble with a lot of characters that can crouch. Like Sheik, Puff. They can literally crouch in front of him and just beat him on reaction, which is sad. It's sad. This is so hard, man. It really is.
I'm like, they essentially are like, they do the same thing.
They
and
do
then it's
the
like,
same thing.
And then it's like, basically, what do you value out of the two? Like, what do you It's like, and this almost can come down to like opinion, right? Like,
Yeah.
this
well, I mean,
this is
that's what the
essentially
tier
a
list
preference.
is.
Where it can go either way, and it's like, well, do you value, you know, the utility, or do you value like their like I don't want to say independency, but like their their ability to not get like smothered. Like DK can hold his own relatively well,
which is very, very important.
Exactly, very, very important. Like Ganon will just get hit like a truck, and then that's it. And then he spends a year recovering. You can ignore him; you don't have to worry. And like sure, like Ganon has like the fair, and he's got options that he can do, but I mean DK also has options he can do, and again he can handle even facing. It's not a big deal. And like you said, he has his cargo throws are excellent, and he's got he has a really strong punish. So I mean,
he's better by the ledge.
Yeah, better by the ledge. Has a really good get up attack.
Yes, he does. When I think of Ganon next to Game & Watch, to me they honestly feel exactly the same. Not exactly the same, but obviously like there are differences. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel that Ganon is even that much better than Game & Watch. And I feel like when I think of Game & Watch and DK, I feel like DK is clearly better than Game & Watch.
That's fair. I could see that. So I guess by that logic, I mean, I feel like you answered the question.
Yeah. That was a weird hiccup I didn't think that we were gonna have, but I enjoyed it.
No, that was good because I like for me more or less like there are characters where it's like you could probably argue one over the other, but this was a lot closer than.
Okay, this next one might also make somebody very mad. I think Luigi is next.
Oh, Luigi was absolutely in C tier.
Okay.
I didn't know where, but I knew absolutely he was in C tier. My man is not a B tier character.
No, he's not.
He's just too floaty. He can't really do a whole lot.
I think Luigi's movement pattern is just too predictable and abusable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's every time I play against the Luigi in team, oh great. Literally, not even sarcasm, like, oh cool, Luigi. This will be straightforward. And it's very linear too. There's really nothing dynamic when you play against the Luigi that you need to watch out for or be aware of. Okay, he's gonna do one of these 3 things. Wave dash in, and that's usually really it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that he doesn't have stuff he can do to cover up the flaws we're talking about, but it's the flaws are still centralizing. Whether or not they're his whole game plan is not what we're saying, but I think Luigi's movement is just too linear, and it loses to walling hitboxes most of the time, which I think is a problem. His throws aren't great for teams, I don't feel like, at all. Not at all, but compared to the other characters, he's just super floaty, and that. I feel like that time he spends in the air catches up to him.
Oh, absolutely. He's one of those characters where you don't even have to worry about killing him off the combo. Just hit him away, and you have a good 10 to 20 seconds on the other character.
Yeah.
God forbid he's off stage. He needs a misfire in order to be right back in the action. Otherwise, he will take even longer to come back.
Yeah. I mean, he can team combo, but it honestly takes him so long to get back down. Sometimes he can't.
Yeah, he can maybe get a hit, maybe 2 if you're lucky, and then after that, that's as far as it goes usually.
With the exception of that misfire combo I got.
Oh, yeah. Well, to be fair, that was also a special exception of them being at 10%.
Yeah, they were it was a low percent 2v1 on a flat stage, so there wasn't.
And that
any character can abuse that situation.
Exactly, and that was also 80% you. I think to testify that the way that Luigi team combos is I think I bared them twice, and then I let you do everything.
Yeah,
because at that point it was we couldn't even team combo.
Yeah, you can't hit it too far away from Luigi, or there's nothing you can do. His downer doesn't send at a good team's angle. It sends up and away, which is really weird. It's not good. It doesn't stack well. His forward air and his downer send up and away.
Yeah, it sends way too high up. It's very awkward of a
It is very awkward. And then on top of that, even if you were to return somebody, he takes so long getting to the ground that it wouldn't be feasible to, like, if it sent it like Doc back air angle, then yeah, his floatiness wouldn't matter as much, but it sends so high up that the time is just too, it takes too long. I think all of Luigi's movements that aren't his wave dash just take too long and they catch up to him.
Yep. Absolutely. Right. I agree with that.
I think that's fair. His recovery is not super linear, especially if you can do the 14 or 15 mash, but it's...
I mean, if you're Mad Tyro, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's still not like... I feel worse than the rest of the cast anyway, in terms of recovery that I'm looking at, so...
That's fair.
Okay. I personally think that Samus is worse than the Mario Brothers in teams.
You know, I was thinking that too, more or less. I could probably see... It's tricky for me, where Samus is just one of those characters that's really annoying, right? But like, what does Samus actually contribute to a team? Like Samus, like every time I play against the Samus will do either up B out of shield, they will do missile spam missiles from platform, like platform drop through missiles, whatever.
Yeah.
Generic charge shot combo, like nothing, but like anyone can do those types of combos. Fox can up smash, she can do whatever. Samus, God forbid, when Samus is recovering and spamming bombs, like it's over. Samus is kind of like Luigi, like spends so much time in the air, like when they need to jump. And yeah, like they don't really have too much that they contribute. They're more of an just a really heavy annoyance than they are like a team's player. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like a Samus in teams is just so... I don't want to say it's like... Samus can obviously... Samus holds a position somewhat well. I'm not even going to say well, because honestly, most of the time when you do start to creep on Samus, they have to kind of move backwards to get enough space, and requiring that much space, like... I mean, even other characters... So, like, when I'm thinking of Mario, right? Mario is, like, the most generic, good teams kit.
He's the most all-around. He's, like, he is the definition of, like...
a decent teams character.
Yeah, a decent singles and teams character, because he can kind of do everything. He has it all, you know? Yeah. He doesn't super excel at one thing, but he has the tools to do everything needed.
He's got up B at a shield. He's got a stall on his recovery. His cape, fast kills. He can go off stage. His back air is amazing. His up air is amazing. His nair is amazing. His drill's okay for neutral pressure. If you want to get pretty dumb with it, his short hop instant up air into late nair that comes out on like right before he hits the ground is decent pressure.
He has a projectile if needed, even.
Yeah,
to like help save and other miscellaneous things.
It's a decent projectile path too. It's a nice. It's floaty and it goes kind of high, like deceptively high. It doesn't fall like Doc's pill.
Yep, absolutely.
So I feel like Samus. Missiles aren't really a save. They're really unreliable, and then on top of that, it relies you getting the missile past the people edge guarding. So missiles really aren't gonna help all that much. Missiles get beat by a lot of moves. Oh yeah,
the only thing that Samus really does to like save their teammate off stage is like you run off and you down B bomb or you up B them.
Yeah, but in which case,
both of those are not great. They are slow, like save. The up B takes like a year and a half in like teams time where you can easily punish it. And the bomb, you saved your teammate, but your teammate ate your bomb, and Samus like missing a bomb is like scary. That's pretty scary.
It is scary. Honestly, whenever I play against the Samus as Fox, when I'm not doing well, I'm actually just... It feels like I'm throwing away the game. Like, it doesn't, to me, feel like she does anything productive unless I feed into it.
Yeah, if you leave Samus alone, and it's the same thing in singles. Like when you just leave Samus alone and you force Samus to have to engage you, that is when Samus is at her worst. When
And
Samus is forced to, because like Samus doesn't really have too many like like what's the word I'm looking for? Like offensive options. She doesn't really have anything to like initiate too well.
yeah. Charge shot is too slow. It's good for like, first of all, getting the charge off can be really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Second off, even if you do get it, if you shoot it across the stage, even when you think it's okay, like even with missiles, you can grab somebody and hold them and watch the missile run into them. Like you can roll on the missile on reaction, and if they're that close and you roll through them, then they're in that disadvantage where they have to like kind of approach you, right? So like you're either far enough away to react to everything Samus is doing, or you're close enough where she can't come after you because it's too, like, she wave dashes on the ground. She's too slow in the air. It becomes too predictable at a certain range, and her saving grace in singles is that she has the space, and she forces an interaction, right? In doubles, there's no forced interaction at all.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, you literally, it's like in competitive Pokemon, it's like, yes, Blissey is annoying, but Blissey is one of the worst VGC Pokemon of all time because it just does nothing productive. You just leave it there, it sits, and it does nothing. And that's like, it's literally the Melee's version of that.
Bliss. That's why I was always a Chansey with an Evil 8 Stone.
That's dog shit too. I mean, unless you want to spam minimize, even that's more helpful in Samus and Team.
True.
I just don't. You can better player them, but that's not the point. I think in terms of tools, Samus is just not that great.
Yeah, exactly. Samus is pretty bad at teams.
I feel like it's definitely Mario, right? Am I missing something?
Who'd you say? Mario, you said?
Yeah. Am I missing something?
See, so
I feel like Ices are decent. I feel like they come after the Mario brothers. Actually, they might be above Pikachu.
Ices have a few tricks for sure. They're not great. Like if you kill Nana, sure, like immediately down the tier list, all the way down. But like,
well, we'll get into that. But Sopo on its own, I don't think is even that bad.
I mean, Sopo has like the up air. He's got the smash attacks.
Yeah.
I've seen like what Sopo can do, but I'm trying to think. For me, it would either be from here on. It would either be like the Mario brothers, being Mario and Doc, like the two Marios, or Icy. For me, but I could see in my head the Mario brothers do more than Icy's, if that makes sense.
They have a more well-rounded toolkit, that's for sure.
They have a more well-rounded toolkit, and I think it's just maybe from like personal experience of like when I play against Icy's, I've seen the Nana AI like go AWOL sometimes, where it doesn't know what to do and acts out of its own goddamn right sometimes. But that being said, I have seen Icy's do more consistent than Mario and Doc in teams.
Yeah, that partly has to do with them being worse in singles, so they have less representation. I've seen not Doc players play doubles, but I've seen good players play Doc in doubles, and it's like, this is like good. This is like, it's solid. Like, it's not like amazing, and it kind of loses to a lot of. The problem I have with Doc is that, like, the problem I have with Doc is he just kind of loses to almost everyone above him. Like, yes, his toolkit is like, let's say like Mario, right? Like his toolkit is pretty good. I'm tempted to put Mario in C.
Okay. Go on. I know the gears are turning. I can like hear it.
I think Link might be the last character in C. And then Doc, because I think there is that much of a difference between Doc and Mario.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that's why usually even in the singles tier list, like Doc and Mario, they're never right next to each other. Doc is almost always like a few above Mario.
I feel like it's just kind of lazy when I know Doc's toolkit is a lot better than Mario's. I feel like Link he's a good in placer. He's got good hitboxes.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like he needs too much babysitting. He's slow. He's slow with big hitboxes. Right? Mm-hmm. So his benefit is that he's got big hitboxes. They kill early, he's got a decent recovery, and he's got projectiles. So like, yeah, he's good with space. Team combos, he's pretty okay. He starts falling off at the higher percents because he can't catch up. But he does do pretty decent 1v1 against the rest of the cast. I feel like Link is definitely better than Mario, but I feel like Link is definitely worse than Doc.
So you're thinking Mario, Link, Doc, but Doc and B.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I could see that. Because like you said, Mario's kind of like the epitome of the middle. So it kind of makes sense to keep him either like at the very high part of C, essentially, like, you know, one below Link is fine. Where he's in the middle, so everyone below him basically is just like not good at teams, unfortunately, and then everyone above him actually become like more legitimate characters in teams.
Yeah.
So I mean that does make sense.
I think Link being the middle of the pack makes kind of a lot of sense. Not in terms of like numbers of characters, but in terms of like overall skill. I think Link being pretty decent. He's got the problem is that Link has much better kills. Actually, Link has really good kills.
In compared to who? Sorry.
Probably in comparison to Doc, because Link is definitely better than Mario.
So the way Doc's usually kills it, he's got his fair, he's got semi-spike bear.
Yeah.
You got your smash attacks. And then that's really, I mean, he has cape like Mario, but I feel like you're usually not caping too much.
Yeah, I think Doc is better than Link, and that's because I feel like Link's value comes from just being able to hold a position. He's weaker against shield than I am comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And shielding in doubles is already really good. So like it's not like people are gonna go out of their way to have to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact he has that a tether grab does not help dealing with shield.
Link also has trouble versus spot dodge, which is a weird, like, I guess it's like kind of nitpicky, but I don't know. You can also like, you can kind of spot dodge, and then anything he would hit you after, barring a grab, you can just tech. Like you can get ready and tech. So if you spot dodge against Link and he up Bs, you can omps attack it and punish it, which is really just sad.
Yeah, and depending on who you're playing, you can even potentially roll away, and then he just can't do anything because he's just too slow.
Do that. I think I can't justify Link in B. I really can't. Also,
no, Link is not a B boy.
Okay, so I feel like there's the reason that I feel like Doc is better. I think his cape is sort of not the same function as Link up B, but early kills with a decent hitbox is a real legitimate reason, right? Like they're somewhat comparable. At lower percents, Doc cape is better, and at higher percents, Link up B is better. But I feel like they can kind of function. I feel like Doc's recovery is also much more annoying than Link's for the most part. Like tether is pretty annoying, but you can kind of ignore the tether, and then Link can't pull a bomb without doing a waveland on stage, so he can't really like threaten from ledge. He kind of gets boxed out really easily.
Yep.
And then once he's at the, basically if he doesn't have the stage positioning, it gets rough.
I absolutely. I do think personally that Doc is better than Link in teams.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty clear. I think Young Link not being placed has already made some people very angry.
Oh no,
I will explain
Young
that.
Link's got a way to go in my eyes.
I will explain that.
We're still a ways off from that, in my honest opinion. More than people are probably expecting.
Yeah. This makes sense. Doc's back air.
So far, it looks good.
Doc's back air is arguably the best team's combo move in the game.
Oh my god, it is terrifying, especially at higher percents, because just the fact it can push people down, and because like when you team combo, you know, they go higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
And the fact that Doc's bear has the ability to push people down, so you can continue team comboing them back up, like really good on it.
Also, grounded smash attacks become a reality when Doc's back air sends them into oblivion into the middle of the stage.
Absolutely, dude.
Hills are obviously really good. Forward air.
They send at a good angle. Forward air is very strong.
Yeah, forward air as a pickup move is just too good. I feel like Link has down air, but Link is also much slower. Maybe not much slower, but like up air doesn't really. I feel like anywhere where Link up air is like useful, it's like, you know, if Doc can get even a weak back air, like if he's trying to get a pickup on reaction, even a weak back air is such a good setup.
Yep.
And like Link up air weak doesn't super kill for a long time. I think Link is super doable. I know Ice and Six have had somewhat success, but when I watch it, it feels like nobody he's played has been abusing center stage versus Link. Like, yeah,
Right,
obviously it's probably hard to keep center stage while Ice is kind of on top of it, but like let's say you just like roll towards center stage, right? When I think if I roll towards Link at center stage, what's the worst that can happen? And every situation in my head, it's like it's not that bad. Like you can actually just take center stage at low percents almost for free. But when I think about it with Doc, if he gets a grab on honestly most of the cast, like he can just back throw you out. Like he legit can be like, no, you don't get center stage. You're about to get boxed out by pills while, you know, like if your other teammate is also in center stage with you, then they're split, right?
Yep.
So it's like Doc is a legitimate fast reaction way to create positioning, which I think is way more valuable than just being a hitbox and placer. Also, Nair in place with Doc is stupid.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. It's a really good wall move. The fact how long his Nair is out, and that the longer it's out, the stronger it is. Pretty scary to deal with.
I feel like it's Icy's, right?
Pichu, Yoshi. Yeah. I would agree with that.
It's hard. Well, maybe for some people over Young Link, but I will explain in a second. Icy's have, even when they're apart, I think Sopo is underrated. Back air's obviously amazing. Down air being set knockback is kind of a blessing for edge guards because it stalls for a lot of time. Especially versus Spaceys and Falcon. You can stall for time for an edge guard with Ices if you need to. If you want to. Up air is amazing. Up air platform camping in doubles is a pretty big problem. And I'm not saying that it straight up beats platform camping because it's really annoying to get shield dropped. But Icy's aerials in general are pretty decent against, like, it seems like, maybe not so much when they're together. So, like, when they're together, to me, it's like it's kind of like Luigi if he had much more movement and longer lasting hitboxes, right? It's actually not a great analogy, but they're like, I don't know, man. The Icy's aerials in general for teams are really good. They're like all of them are solid in their own way. Maybe forward air not so much, but like
I mean,
Blizzard,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like the way I see it is like Icy's hit really hard. Like the two of them, they eat
Especially when
away
they're
at
together.
shield. They have the burst of like wave dashing in. They still have a projectile. Like you said, their aerials are out for a long time too.
Yeah.
And like, you know, this is like a niche thing, but like there were times like before wobbling was banned where like God forbid Icy's got a wobble on one person.
Yeah.
This might not apply so much anymore, but like when wobbling was legal, like all it took was what Icy's to wobble someone and their teammate to wall out the other person. And even if they couldn't 100% wall them out, just getting that extra like 60% or whatever into like, you know, their handoff kill or like, you know, just knocking them off was huge. And even then, like Icy's like can't wobble now, but like just the way like they can do handoffs and like set up for like I'm trying to think how to word it. They have the ability to hold someone long enough or as long as they want to set up for team kills, team confirms, walling, whatever the case may be. And that in its own right is really strong.
Both of their projectiles are insane by the ledge.
Oh yeah, Icy's icicles or whatever it's called, I forget the proper name, is pretty damn annoying to deal with.
Icicle block, I think, is the. I might be making that up actually.
It's something like that. They're neutral being. The thing is like with Sopo that I usually feel, but you explaining it, I mean it makes sense. Is like Sopo virtually cannot get in usually as long as like the other team is like watching Sopo. He has a really, really hard time getting it. But Sopo is pretty damn good at like the pickup game where he has the back air to like confirm because it's pretty damn strong. He has up air, which is very team combo friendly, and it's out for a year and a half. He has like even just something simple as like just a simple like neutral B, just to like force the other team. They either get hit or they have to block it. And he has like a few other like mundane things. Like a really good Icy's, a really defensively solid Icy's, even a solidly defensive Sopo is like deceptively hard to kill. I think we've played against Icy's, or I have at least, where I've seen a Sopo at like 130, and it's like harder to kill them than you think sometimes. Because like most people probably also get tunnel vision and they'll just run after the Sopo. And then they'll leave like the real genuine threat like free to move and do whatever they need. And then that's all it takes. Or, you know, they'll ignore Sopo and then they'll focus on, let's say it's Fox. They'll focus on Fox. And then if they're not careful, like the Sopo can come in and the Sopo can really honestly just do damage sometimes. All you need is like that one hit with them, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, I think that even Sopo, when I think of ice climbers and teams, I think of honestly like 3/4 of the time them being Sopo. Because realistically that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
I think they don't even have that hard of a time getting in. Between wave dash jab, wave dash grab, and then either up tilt or up smash after the wave dash, it's like you can legitimately threaten space with Sopo. Like if you're coming down, let's say it's like a puff, right? There's a very surprising amount of places you're not allowed to be versus ice climbers. And like if somebody's doing moves in place, like ice climbers roll is pretty good. So like wave dash plus roll is like, you know, if you can call out them throwing out the hitbox in place, then you're in business, right? Like then you're behind somebody. And Sopo, the amount they get off of a grab is kind of disgusting. Like forward throw is really good team combo. Up throw combos like every fast faller in the game. Down throw combos everyone that's not a fast faller.
Yep.
Back throw has some DI mix-ups where you can get a down smash after the back throw on fast fallers. If not, it's just a get away, team combo, either one. So like good hitboxes, dummy strong smash that even Sopo by himself has crazy strong. I don't know why down smash or forward smash or up smash are all that strong, but that they just are.
Oh yeah, God forbid you're not ready to DI down smash. You just get deleted.
Yeah, or you don't have a jump. So like if Sopo's sitting on stage during an edge guard, it's not bad at all. So yeah, I feel like that justifies where they are.
Yeah, I also can't see Icy's being better than any of the characters.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's mainly why it's so comfortable for them to be there. This is coming from someone who has played Pikachu for 3 years in teams. Played against and helped Tyler Swift in teams. Played against Kimchi in teams and teamed with Telos in teams. If you know who that is, you're old school as fuck. I don't think Pikachu's that good in teams. I think Pikachu's clearly better than Icy's, and I'll move him if we like find some sort of revelation. But Pikachu's up air has argument for one of the best teams moves in the game. Like there's a very real. You get to pick a situation you want with a single Pikachu up air. Aside from Pikachu being able to gimp, which is not realistic for some of the cast, and him being able to be somewhat edge guarded similarly to Sheik, going out is not as free as it might sound. Like, Pikachu will freely get back to the stage, but at what cost? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the lack of range for Pikachu just kills him. I mean, if you give Pikachu the space, he's pretty good. But if you suffocate Pikachu, he just becomes like, not suffocate like right on top, like on a shield where you can get up air out of shielded, but like, just don't let him shuffle. And there's like, becomes really difficult, especially versus the floaties. Because even like Pikachu can do things at higher percents, right? But like, think of the other characters above him. Like, how well does Pikachu really do against the characters above him? And in teams, it's really hard. Like, it's not, Pikachu's fast for sure, but a lot of doubles, at least while holding positioning, is preemptive hitboxes, and Pikachu's approach is pretty reactable. His Thunder Jolt is easy to block. It's very slow. Thunder is really good at pickups, but I've tried some grab release stuff with Thunder. It's somewhat reliable. Not really. Getting the base hit is okay. It kills somewhat early, but like, if you're gonna get a grab setup, other characters just do it better. There's no reason to like it's kind of got like rest syndrome, right? Like, not only does it take 2 people in the same place after you get the punish, but like, then you're open after that, and it's just like, it's Pikachu leaves a bad taste in my mouth when I think of possibilities for fighting characters and teams. It's just so hard sometimes.
So for me, it's interesting because I think this is where I would probably have put Yoshi instead of Pikachu. But that's probably also more so because I've seen what your Pikachu can do, so I'm a little bit biased.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that also is like, Pikachu's edge guarding game is like phenomenal, and you kind of said it where it's really good, and you kind of already said it where like Pikachu's up air is arguably one of the best moves it is literally a pick your poison move where you
it's
you
amazing.
literally choose what you want to do in a given moment. And Pikachu, like, overall, like, there's not much he can do. You kind of already said it also, where you wall up Pikachu not directly in his face, but there's kind of like this small little window of where Pikachu can and can't go. And as long as you're covering that gap, Pikachu is like virtually invalidated.
Yeah, it's hard. You can
And
make Pikachu's life really difficult in teams.
yeah, absolutely. You can make it so Pikachu can't do anything. And like you said, with the Pikachu's recovery too, you can deal with it like pretty damn easily. The way I do it as Sheik usually is like I will just nair or bear ledge. Pikachu gets hit by it. I rinse and repeat. Pikachu ends up on stage. You get the free punish because he has the end leg on his. But in my head, I was thinking like Yoshi is very strong in terms of like his burst is, I guess, as I'll put it, where Yoshi, like with platforms, can be at almost any position at a given time.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat, he's got double jump armor, which is terrifying in its own right.
Yes,
his moves hit like
stupid.
A dump truck.
So here, I know that you're like listing it up. I personally think that Yoshi goes above Young Link. I think so I was talking about this, I don't remember with somebody. It was in Beezim's chat. There's a couple reasons. Like you were saying, right? Like him being so tanky is not just annoying, but he kind of at some percents versus some characters gets to take whatever position he feels like. Like Yoshi at lower percents versus high percent characters is probably some of the most skewed melee for a lot of matchups, right? Like when Fox is at 0, right? You're like, okay, well any character can do this. When Yoshi's at 0 and you're at high percent, you're like, this is gonna be hard. And the reason it's so hard is because Yoshi doesn't have to worry about a lot of the things. There are no glancing hits with Yoshi at lower percents. There are no I guess like not gimmicky hits, but like you don't get anything for free against Yoshi. At least versus a good Yoshi, you really don't.
Yeah.
So him being able to take whatever position he wants in some situations is like invaluable, especially with platforms. You can't ignore Yoshi. I think that really is like it's one of the problems with the in-placers. Yoshi's not really an in-placer, but he can be, right? Like his double jump nair alone is insanity.
Yes.
Forward air in place, really hard to deal with. Down tilt in place, really hard to deal with. Egg roll is much more annoying than it seems. It's not super hard to cover, but it will trip you up. Eggs are some of the best projectiles in doubles ever. Like, it's not so much that I think that their path is necessarily crazy, but I think the splash and the damage is absurd. That like 11% per egg in some like that's like enough, like 2 or 3 eggs, right, is enough to get somebody out of crouch cancel percent. So like if you challenge Yoshi on the ledge and he gets off 2 eggs, even 1 egg, it might have just changed how neutral is played for the rest of that stock, which is crazy, right? It's such a risk-free team saver. Like, and if you block an egg, it's gonna hurt. Like it's like if you block a Falco laser, it's like, okay, whatever. Like that's kind of annoying. But Yoshi's eggs can not only go over shields, but if you are gonna try to block it in the air, it is a lot of damage. And even if you can beat it with some moves, sometimes the splash still hits you, that's really good. Like that's a lot of good aspects for a projectile to have. So I think his in place is ridiculous. I think he could take positions very easily. He doesn't have an out of shield, but he has light shield, which Yoshi's light shield, I'm sure we all know, is much different than everyone else's. And so he also doesn't get shield poked. It's very hard to sandwich Yoshi. He's probably the hardest character to sandwich in the game.
He's so goddamn slippery. I hate it.
Yeah, he's very slippery. So like somebody who lives forever is slippery, has a great projectile, can't be shield poked. Neutral B stops a lot of sandwiches. It really does. Like having a command grab that's that long can stop a lot of sandwiches, and I feel like that's just crazy. If eggs can't do it, neutral B can. Parrying is obviously much harder in doubles because it's a lot less predictable, but it does happen, especially on FD, right? So like, yes, Yoshi becomes more predictable, but also vice versa, right? Like Falcon is way more predictable. Falco is way more predictable on FD. Marth is way more predictable. Much more so than having platform mix-ups. So parrying becomes better on FD. It's not a great thing to rely on, but light shielding is so good that it's like those are all just to me like insane. Like he punishes by the ledge so hard. His down B is legitimately a kill move. Like it will kill at 100 on floaties, and there are some throws that can let him do that. Having played Beezum a lot, I'm actually terrified of what Yoshi would be able to become in doubles. I think that like good Yoshi players, if they truly start to understand like how much power they have off of a platform, it's gonna be really hard. Down smash covers the entire platform. Forward smash is a really hard move to deal with. Up smash beats a lot of the characters in the air. A lot of them. His double jump air player is amazing. His nair is good for team combos. He's not the fastest, but eggs completely cover that up. Like, if you get an egg in a team combo, the hit stun is so ridiculous that you'll probably just get a kill off of it because the other person has that much time. At least with faster characters. If it's like Peach Yoshi, then maybe not, but it's definitely doable. Him being able to adjust his nair that fast with double jumps and being able to turn around is like it's hard for Yoshi to not be able to reach something, and if he can't, then he up airs and they die. And it's like, gee, and like, God, not to mention if somebody figures out consistent double setups for Yoshi's down air. Like, Lord help us if anybody figures that out. Back air is amazing. Like, I'm a huge Yoshi advocate. I think everything that Yoshi has is really good. His downsides to me, there's not a whole lot of them. There really isn't. He's got a decent matchup spread on all of the floaties. I think he does really well versus the floaties in teams, and Marth in particular.
Right.
He doesn't do great versus Fox or Yoshi, or I think he does okay versus Peach. I think it's super doable. Falcon can give him a hard time. I haven't played Falcon against Yoshi in a long time, but I have played Yoshi against Falcon in teams. And that one I feel like is the biggest reason that he couldn't be any higher.
Oh yeah.
At least for now.
Yeah. So I was gonna say just one of Yoshi's biggest weaknesses for me is like any character that has the potential to break his double jump armor can destroy Yoshi, because once Yoshi doesn't have a jump, you can team combo him for days, and then all you do is you just blow him off stage and he just explodes.
Yeah, part of that is mitigated by egg roll, but I do think because egg roll has like that weird jump, right? It can if you egg roll the opposite way of the team combo, it can avoid some hitboxes.
Yeah.
Wiggle out spot dodge is something, or not wiggle out spot. Wiggle out air dodge is something that every Yoshi can do, like on command. So like, if you're not on your P's and Q's or whatever you want to call it, team comboing Yoshi can be pretty hard, especially if he has a jump. It becomes really hard because then you have no lenience.
Yeah. You have to be like spot on with your team combo, or else he's gonna like double jump near you or God knows what.
Yeah, he just gets out.
Yeah.
That's why I think he's so. The reason, I guess this is kind of like, I don't know. This is like, I guess what some people were waiting for me to explain. If anybody is in contact with Koobie, first of all, Koobie's the one who gave me the idea to do this, which is really cool of him, and I appreciate it. He's also one of the biggest advocates of Young Link in teams after we played him with my Young Link in teams. If anybody has played Hershey Woods in the Discord, the Young Link, yeah, that was me. And there are a couple reasons that I think Young Link is ridiculous. First of all, part of his main, I guess, weakness is crouch cancel. I personally have not had that much trouble versus crouch cancel as Young Link. In teams, more specifically. I definitely see it in singles, like a fast faller can hold forward and it can be hard to deal with. But his up B out of shield is so... I think people underrate, like, yes, you can get out of it, but it does take time to get out of, and it's very clearly a help me. There is no which ways about it. If Young Link up B's on the ground out of shield as an option, your teammate knows something's up. You know what I mean? And it definitely buys enough time, especially for the good characters, to get over there if they can. If not, Young Link is a weird weight. And he also has some pretty easy SDI. Pikachu is a really comboable weight. I don't know their exact weight. I don't know why. It might just be the hurt box. But Young Link can be really fidgety. Nair comes out frame 3, I think, or 4. I don't remember which one. I think it's 3.
Up there. It's fast.
I think it's the same as Luigi's. I think it's 3.
Oh, it's the same as Luigi's?
I think so, yeah. Back air is amazing. Back air is amazing. Young Link Nair is amazing. He's got a lot of forward air jab shield pressure that isn't true, and it might not lead to anything crazy. But that I'm not super concerned with being able to beat shield outright so much as being able to force somebody to shield. And then dealing with what comes after. Like, you can't stay in shield forever, right? So, like, in theory, if you can beat everything after the shield, then it's the same as beating the shield in the first place, which is why I don't think his grab is that big of a weakness. He can tech chase all of the fast fallers, I think, if I remember correctly. Like, Roy, I mean, obviously the Spaceys, Falcon, it's a very true tech chase, and it's really not that hard. His down throw combos a lot of the floaties in a really horrible way. Like, honestly, it's really a true combo, and it starts a lot. If not, just gives him the space. If he can get the grab, obviously. Part of the thing that I like about Young Link a lot is his aerial hookshot is deceptively good, which might sound ridiculous and gimmicky, but it can break up a sandwich, and you probably might get punished for it. Depends. You can edge cancel it off a platform, but that's obviously situational. But there are certain edge guards where characters can just, like, not get around it, which sounds pretty stupid. So, like, for me, what I would do a lot while you were on ledge is if there's a spacey below, you can legitimately just air dodge back, grapple, and there's not a whole lot they can do about it. They just get hit, and it's a long enough hit stun where they don't grab ledge. They fall a little bit, right? Especially if people aren't expecting it, which is a majority of what happens. Being able to edge cancel it is really useful for getting out of combos. Really situationally, you can air dodge up instantly, hookshot, and then that gives you like a little bit of height, which can do you a lot of good, depending on the matchup. Like versus Puff, you can just get away from her doing that alone. But that's a weird rabbit hole to go into. Is Young Link's hookshot? That's not why he's good. In particular, his up air and his down air are ridiculous. Like Link's aerials are more ridiculous, but it's just on a version of speed that is just not feasible in doubles. I don't think, in terms of like how good the character Like a faster Link would obviously be better than young Link, but I feel like the speed in doubles is a lot more important because time is a resource in doubles,
Yep.
and that's part of the reason Luigi's not good. That's part of the reason Samus isn't good. Is because time is so important, and young Link having those aerials while being that fast, while also having a projectile that does a lot of damage, beat CC, good projectiles for edge guarding. His smash attacks are okay. His up smash is not great. His forward smash is not. His second hit of forward smash can be achieved in an edge guard. That's not that hard. Down smash is really it, right? So for me, when we would be teaming and I down threw somebody with young Link like a fast faller, if you pivot down smash, especially if it's by the ledge, you can cover 3 out of 4. Which sounds stupid that pivot down smash is really good, but it is. I think. It's just his jab's really good. He's good in the scramble. His shield blocks a surprising amount, aka Samus charge shots, needles, stuff that you wouldn't think is important in the moment. Sometimes you can get unlucky with he like bobs it up and down a little bit because of his animation. But young Link, he does really well versus Marth, Puff, Peach, and everyone below him. IMO. Like young Link in my head, if I were to take a young Link in doubles and put it against a Luigi in doubles, I would think this is a horrible matchup. Like this is like a lot of young Link's kit, especially his boomerang, invalidates a lot of the characters below him, if not his aerials, and his team combos are part of the reason that Pikachu can struggle with team combos is he doesn't have a true finisher, and requiring the other teammate to have a finisher for a team combo does not make you a good team's character, regardless of how good your other aerials might be. Like, down air is okay with Pikachu, but it won't kill at anything special, right? But Young Link down air is a real killer. Like, it will kill even, like, fast fallers at reasonable percents, right? Like 90, 100 on Battlefield, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So for him to be that good in the scramble, have an out of shield option, not struggle with one of his only weaknesses, which is fast fallers at lower percents, as much. Him being as good as he is by the edge with his recovery, his up B is very hard to deal with a lot of the times. On top of that, he has a tether. His wall jump is really good. He's just got too many things. He's just got too many good tools. Especially that mitigate his range. His projectiles really mitigate his range, and I'm not talking about like pulling a bomb and then like I don't know, like that using that to cover your range. It really is strong boomerang that covers a lot of the weird mid ranges that other characters tend to struggle with. Like Doc tends to struggle with because he has to wave dash in or shuffle. Ices tend to struggle with because they have to wave dash. Pikachu tends to shuffle. I mean, they have to shuffle, right? Or like maybe wave dash in upward angle forward tilt, but that can be pretty hard.
Yeah.
And at lower percents, it's not that good. But strong boomerang, doing 18% at a range that's really easy to hit it at, is just like I can't see Young Link being worse than Pikachu, even though Pikachu's edge guarding is really good and it's quick, which is important because his up air is amazing. I feel like every other aspect of the character is just worse than Young Link, which sounds ridiculous, but I don't see. I mean, Pikachu's up smash obviously, but like Young Link shuffle dare is not quite as potent, but it also doesn't come out as fast. But it's like for it to even be comparable is like it's. I think Young Link is really good. I don't know how you felt like teaming with Young Link.
Oh, it's great. I love teaming with Young Link, dude. The character like can do everything Link can do, but faster, if that makes sense. And just that speed alone makes the world of a difference.
Yeah.
And like the fact like you can, the fact that you can, you know, you're not as fast as Falcon, obviously, but like the fact that you can go from point A to point B relatively quickly. You have good projectiles.
They
right?
are good.
You like your down smash is great. Your up B is like amazing stalling, and like it's also like not only like this is like a niche thing, but like people get tunnel vision a lot, but like Young Link's up B has such a loud audio cue and it's so long and everything that even if someone was to get tunnel vision, you can literally glance over. It's too obvious.
Also, with Young Link up B, yes, the other, you know, like there are two people on the other team, right? So obviously, when you up B somebody out of shield, it's not perfect. Somebody can come after you, but it's the same thing. It's like Link but reversed, right? So if somebody's gonna punish me for Young Link up being, honestly, a lot of the time, it's just something that I can Omsa-Tech out of. If I can't Omsa-Tech out of it, then it's like, what do they really get? Because their teammate had to have been hit by some part of the up B.
Yep.
It's not like you can't spot dodge the up B. You can't like try to grab. You're either out of his range and you can Omsa-Tech it. You can run up, grab. That's worst case, right? You miss the up B out of shield, and they get an aerial from above or run up, grab. A lot of aerials can be teched. You can DI down tech. If they do get a grab, which is probably worst case, you have a teammate. Like for that to be, it's not hard to punish. But if you hit somebody with it, it can be really hard to deal with. It's like Samus up B, but without so much end lag, and being forced to be in the air, which I think is a huge negative. It doesn't come out as fast, but like, if you set yourself up as Young Link, which it doesn't take a lot of space to set yourself up as Young Link to be in a place where you can up B at a shield a lot of the cast.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's good on platforms, obviously. I don't even think I need to like.
I mean, I feel like you got like most of it, honestly.
He just doesn't struggle with CC nearly as hard. His range is definitely mitigated by a projectile that's really good in double. So I have some really niche tech with Young Link. Obviously, like you saw me working on it, like throwing the boomerang down on the ground on the other side of the stage.
And having it, like, manipulating it to, like, go over.
Manipulating it to go on the other side, right?
Yep.
Also, like, throwing it upwards, like, in it being weak, you can run to the middle of the stage and jump, so if they do give you the space, you actually have kind of a weird coverage, and it can hit your teammate on ledge. It's, like, super, like, YouTube video shit, but it is possible to do a lot of things with Young Link's boomerang. He's really good at saving if you can do it. His projectiles do take some setup. If you do, the game plan against Young Link is to smother him, right? I think like it's still his weakness. He's not cleared of being smothered.
Yeah.
But if you give him the time to pull the bombs, he becomes a lot harder to deal with. And getting time to pull bombs is much easier when somebody's helping him create space. It's not him alone that's creating space, and if he gets any at all, he gets a bomb, and then he becomes harder to deal with.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
You can Z-drop bomb out of a lot of team combos.
Yeah, the fact that, like, having a teammate, like, being Young Link and having a teammate, like, literally just enhances your gameplay in every single way possible. You can pull bombs with relative like safety. You can get away with so much more, and you can play the character on such a higher level.
Yeah.
Because you can just do things that you normally couldn't. You can now, like, not every time, but you can throw boomerangs, bombs, and all these other things way more freely than you ever usually would. You know? Like, and same thing, like, off of throws, off of, like, your up B, like, I can get follow-ups even off of it. When usually would just be like a get off me move or whatever the case may be. Now, let's say they Omsa-Tech it or whatever. Okay, sure. I am
hit.
Exactly. I am now there. I'm now ready to follow it up. You know? It's, the character's really good. There's a lot with the character that, like, you have done that, like, I guarantee 90% of young, if not more, don't.
Also, the The amount of young links that know how to play teams it's not a popular.
It's like
it's
like
hard.
you and 2 people,
Yeah.
2 other people tops on a good day.
So, I think Young Link is really good. If people want to play us and find out why, I'm super down. I've played a lot of very good players with Young Link, and I still strongly believe in his potential. I think Young Link is even underrated in singles, but that's, I think, more so biased because he is, I think, so good in doubles. So, like, maybe his weaknesses are definitely more glaring in singles than I probably think they are. Like, being smothered in singles is probably much, much harder to deal with. But in doubles, it's not so much a factor, so it's harder for me to see him being... I mean, I can't see him being worse than Pikachu. Pikachu's only better in 3 aspects, and even then, his aspects are predictable, which is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Right.
justify, like... Yeah, you have a moving kill move on the ground, but like a lot of characters can really not struggle with that, especially if they're looking for it, right? It's like Marthritis, but with a, and it's like, you know, are you really gonna get grab hold combos as Pikachu? Like somebody else can grab, yeah, that's fine. You get an up smash, that makes sense. But what does Pikachu get? Like, it's just a lopsided equation for a lot of situations to have a Pikachu on your team. But Young Link, I feel like, holds his own in a lot of weird ways. So
Yeah, he can do more than Pikachu.
All right, do you think Yoshi is B tier or the bottom of A tier?
Ooh, so this is tricky. So I think in a perfect world, Yoshi is in the 8. But I think the way that I muted myself by accident. Whoops. I think I like smacked my mic. I realized that the way that people are playing Yoshi now is probably B tier, but Yoshi can be in A tier easily, so long as once people start properly abusing Yoshi's double jump armor and the things that he can do. Yoshi will then be in A tier easily, albeit at the bottom of A tier.
Yeah, at the bottom for sure. I think after playing with Bizum and him being already good at teams and me talking to him about theoretical possibilities, like, you know, his teammate was getting sandwiched and he, I don't remember what he tried to do. I think he tried to run up forward air, and I'm like, hey, you can command grab. He's like, oh, true. Like he's actively working on things, and I think he's the best example. I think the amount Amsa played teams and his success is one of the most skewed. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily proof, and maybe he did play a lot of doubles, but Amsa's success in doubles compared to how much he actually played it, looking back on it, is absurd. Like, I never saw him play doubles with anybody except for Axe at a few occasions. Mm-hmm. And they were able to do that well when Pikachu realistically, like, honestly got stuffed a lot of the time. That's where they met their problem, right? Where they played Leffen and Triff. It was the Pikachu got stuffed. That was really what ended up. It was, I think it went to game 5, and I was watching it, and I was like, it's just like, yeah, Yoshi has a lot of tools to babysit, but it's like, to what extent is like, you know, you can babysit Bowser, you can babysit Zelda. You know what I mean? Not saying that Pikachu's nearly that bad, but
no, I get exactly. I mean, yeah, it was one of those things where, like, Pikachu's weaknesses were exemplified, and then like Amsa as a player, you know, with Yoshi, basically, you know,
he did
like,
fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if he was teaming with anyone else, honestly, it would be insane. The fact that him and Axe do as well as they do blows my.
Yeah, I think if Amsa were to play even with somebody remotely more, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Teams orientated? What are you looking for?
More like a point guard. Like someone who can create beneficial situations for Yoshi and let him abuse it.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying.
There are a couple players who are really good at that, but
Mhm.
I think Yoshi, as a team's character, I'd not be comfortable putting him in B. I think he's really good, but he's not S by any means. He's not better than the ones we have left.
That's fair. I could see that.
Now we get to the... Actually, I think since we've put a lot more thought into these, I think these are going to be much faster.
Oh, these are way more straightforward.
Am I doing it?
Let me see. Yeah. That's actually it's that.
Be mad at me all you want. I've talked to every good teams player I have ever talked to does not believe that Puff is as good as people think she is on average. I think that Rest takes advantage of a situation that most other teams can take advantage of anyway. It's very easy to understand when it's going to happen, which is important. A lot of the fast characters can just outright save it. If you're in a situation where Puff's getting a punish on a character that she can rest in a situation where the teammate can't save them, you have just created a situation where almost every other top tier character would just get a really strong punish anyway, and her flaws do not make up for that marginal benefit in those situations. Getting grabbed on stage in a 2v1 where your partner can't help is just not where you would be in the first place, and if you are, even a team like Sheik Fox, Sheik Peach would just do that much damage in the first place or get a kill, right? A grab, hold, up smash, a bunch of down smashes into up tilt, up air, whatever the case may be. Grab hold is just not... I think grab hold gets worse the better people are at teams. She's just too slow. Plain and simple. That's about as good as I can put it. She just can't help, and she just can't force a situation as well as the other characters higher on the list. She can't force hardly anything. She's like Samus with a one-hit kill move in my mind with no projectiles, which is obviously like an understatement to how good Puff's aerials are. But really, truly, I think Rest gets worse the better players get. And if you are that good to work that situation with that slow of a character, if you were to play someone even remotely better, like, I mean, even Falco, if you were to not only are you able to be wherever you want with hitboxes that last much longer on a character that can, abuse a lot more of the cast and their weaknesses. If you were to get a pillar combo, that's it's obviously not as insta-kill as Rest, but being at that high of a percent in doubles and being forced to be by the ledge is almost the same. In my eyes, it's just not typical that somebody at high percent on doubles gets off of the ledge unless something went wrong on the other team's end. Puff stalling is just not useful. It's worse. Pound stalling's not useful. She's just forced to approach, and I don't think Puff... I can't justify a Puff that has to approach a majority of the time. Her biggest strength, weakened. She's already easy to kill, which I don't think is a huge deal in a lot of characters' cases, but for Puff, it's one exchange less in a team combo that she dies, which is a big deal.
True, that's a big one. I mean, yeah, you basically said she's too slow, she's too light. Her best move, Rest, can be easily invalidated and then leads to a punish, which then potentially even kills her. She basically screws herself over big time.
Yeah, if the teammate's not there, which in that case, it's just better to have different characters in that position.
Exactly. If you're already getting grabbed by Puff and let's say up thrown into Rest, Like that's nothing to do with Puff at that point. That's just
Yeah, exactly.
you got grabbed in neutral in a different situation that any other character could have grabbed you in. Has nothing to do with the character itself.
Yeah.
And then like you said, like Puff planking really doesn't do anything to help the character. You're just literally letting your teammate, whatever, like die in the corner. And you're essentially allowing a 2v1 to occur if you're and then Puff being forced to approach is like a death
It's hard
on its own right. It's really hard because what makes Puff like really strong are like those retreating bears and like, the being able to weave in and out. But once you're forced to go in, it's like, oh no, my teammate's in trouble. I have to help. I have to start aggressing. I have to start like moving in on them. It's easy. It's relatively easy isn't the right word, but it's relatively straightforward and simple to deal with because you know what the Puff wants, and the Puff like backing off just allows you again for that 2v1
It's Samus syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that Samus syndrome of like, can I go in, but I can't. I want to go in, but I kind of can't, but I'm going to like slowly try and creep my way in. And all that time that you spend wasting trying to get in is just more time that your teammates, dying.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like the rest of these are in S, but still ordered. Because a lot of these, for me, just have too many doubles strengths for me to justify putting them lower than S.
You can basically slap any of the S tier characters on virtually any team. It will usually work.
Yeah, usually is the keyword.
Yeah. There's a few exceptions, obviously, but yeah, like
It's
all these characters.
Much Marth is the exception.
Yeah, basically.
But Marth is just so good in the right spots that there's no way that you could justify putting him lower.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have the rest of the list ahead. I'm curious what you think here.
Real quick, I think from bottom to top, it would be Peach, Falcon, Falco, Sheik. No, I forgot Marth. Marth goes. I think Marth and Falcon could be interchanged, but I think Peach is worse than both of them barely. I think Falco is better than both of them very barely, because of his overall matchup spread, which I can talk about later. And I think, personally, I think Sheik is the second best team's character. I just can't see. We could talk about it. Like, obviously, we'll both know to a very large extent why that is, but I can't put her any lower than second.
Oh, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I think Sheik is the second best team's character in the game, period. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah. So that leaves... So where do you think Peach is?
Peach is the bottom of S tier.
Okay, so we're pretty much on the same page.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, get her down.
Okay, let's
Peach is really strong, but compared to the other 4 characters after her, or other 5 technically, because Fox, absolutely.
Yeah. I know that we both have a strong distaste for Falcon in teams, because we both think he's disgustingly good.
So stupid. Hate it.
But there's always the thought in my mind is, does Falcon feel dumber than he is, or is he actually as dumb as I think he is? Does that make sense? That
is true. That makes perfect sense. I definitely get what because I feel like we've played against Falcons where the Falcon will do the things that I feel make Falcon amazing at teams.
A monster.
Like complete monster. And then like 2 or 3 games later, it's like if the Falcon isn't like on point or whatever, I'm just like, oh, kind of like deleted him. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, my tier list from bottom to top goes Peach, Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's pretty close here. This is like Falcon, Falco, Marth are like very close.
Yeah.
I think it goes Falcon, Marth, Falco, Sheik.
Okay, so ours are pretty similar.
It's pretty similar, and like that like 3 and 4 region can be changed like so easily. It's like by point. It's like by decimal. It's
Yeah,
so close.
it's gonna be really subjective. I can go ahead and put it in order, and then we can switch the order after that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What is it? This one. This one. Oh, fuck off. That one. That one. To me, this makes sense. It was a lot to put on at once, but I think Peach being an S is more important. Like her being at the bottom of S, I think she's substantially better than Puff in teams.
Absolutely, dude.
Probably the second best in placer. Marth is probably the best in placer. Well, Falcon's really good at it too.
Falcon's very quick at it. He's like
yeah.
very strong at it, and he can be in a spot in a second.
Yeah, Peach. If Peach was faster, God help us all.
Dude, if Peach had faster aerial drift, even by like a hair, game changer. Actually, a game.
She's so much of a bully in terms of positioning that she's one of the only characters in my head that can hold and take a position equally as well, but not be the best at both. Does that make sense? Like usually one character falls into one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
But Peach is one of the only characters that does both, right? Like Peach will be the aggressor in some comps, and she will be a wall in some comps.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
It's so like Fox can do it, but he just doesn't wall as well as he approaches for the most part. Peach up B's, float downer's ridiculous, up B's ridiculous. All of her hitboxes are crazy. They all combo. Down smash. Don't get me started on that stupid move. And I'm not talking about down smash, throw it out on the platform, because every flavor of crayon is your favorite. I'm talking about like your teammate grabs somebody below a platform, you wavelet on the top platform or on the side platform, and you down smash, and there's nothing they can do about it.
And your teammate just throws them right into it.
Yeah.
Blender.
Or on the ground. I mean,
yeah.
On the ground it's not as good because you can take a hit on purpose and then tech it, but it's still a lot of damage in a very short amount of time.
Yep, and it usually leads to a tech chase.
Yeah, it almost always leads to a tech chase.
Mm-hmm.
And her dash deck is pretty damn good at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Decent at edge guarding. I wouldn't say she's amazing at edge guarding in teams. It's too rinse repeat, too slow, which I think is part of the reason she's slow, like lower.
But she's excellent because of her float. She's so good at literally holding a space that like other characters usually would either have to like keep jumping or like time their hold. Yeah. So even like if it's like let's say Peach Fox or like Peach Sheik, that's usually one of the most common team comps, where like Sheik will hold ledge and Peach doesn't like floats like one full hop usually above or like in between a short hop and a full hop, and Peach will literally just float there while the Fox or whoever is recovering, and she can sit there all day because her float lasts, I forget how long, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, something crazy. And then Sheik just covers ledge, and then the Fox has one of two options. You either go into the Peach, you either like go high, try and grab ledge, go into the Peach, try and go to ledge, or you try and weave between them, in which case Sheik covers it. So that's why I feel like Peach is also really good, and like just the fact of being able to hold a space with her float is absolutely terrifying.
Float is one of the best doubles utilities that any character could ever ask for.
Absolutely. That is what makes her so scary, like with her walling, and like the fact she can float cancel fair and it's plus on shield, and then she gets mix up or whatever she wants. It's terrifying. Like you can't just like run into Peach. You have to like really
respect it.
Yeah, you have to really respect and like time the way you move in her. Because if you're not ready for it, yeah, she'll float cancel fair, and it either hits you or it doesn't. And let's say it's shields, she's still safe, she's still plus, she gets whatever she wants after. And she can like even bait you with the float. Like the fact that she's just floating right then and there, like immediately limits your option, because she can let go of her float and drop down, and now you can't run under her. Can't really
Yeah.
jump over her because of the height she's floating. It's very, very strong.
I'm not a fan because it's good, but Peach up B out of shield is so dumb. It really is so dumb. Nair out of shield was already dumb, but up B out of shield is such a like.
It's
Even
a
as
great
combo
get-off
move,
move.
up B's really good.
Oh yeah, I mean the classic. You've seen the parasol where the Peach will like go constantly hit them with it, and then you get a free combo off of it.
Peach being able to stall by choice is some of the most like is definitely one of the biggest blessings, because the characters that aren't good that can stall, it's because they can't do it by choice. Peach has a choice, right? Like if you fast fall, it doesn't take that long. But if you need time, she just sits there, and it's honestly infuriating. You just like, you have to let it go.
Yeah.
Until she decides to come back, in which case it becomes a mix-up, or if it's not a mix-up because there's two people covering it, then I'm sure by that time the other person it becomes dynamic, right? It's not. Peach is too hard to pin down off stage. It's honestly really annoying.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something, it's a little smaller. It's not as big of a deal, but when it happens, it happens. Like, she has a projectile game, and the fact that she can, God forbid, pull a Stitch or like a bomb or something.
Yeah, it matters in some sets.
It really matters in some sets. Like, that is a big maker. And the fact that you can just like, oh, I pulled a Stitch. Oh, Fox did like up throw bear into me. Okay, I throw a Stitch. They easily ate like 50% plus second. And God forbid they're at like 50% when they get hit by that. They're gonna explode. They're gone. It's she has like a random like comeback.
Yeah,
albeit
it's so dumb.
She's not pulling turnips that frequently usually, but
it depends on the matchup.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my head, in particular, double floaties is really when it comes, like Puff Samus is when it really comes into play.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like another part of her toolkit that she has that just makes her be in that S, honestly. And her F throw really strong, can kill. She has chain grab if really needed. Her throws, most of her throws are pretty team combo friendly. Back throw is pretty combo friendly as long as you time it right.
The dead weight's really annoying.
The up throw is extremely team combo friendly. Forward throw is a kill throw.
And quick, also team combo friendly.
And team combo friendly. Like she's got a lot. Okay.
Alright. I don't want to talk about Falcon. I don't like the things he can do in teams. I hate him. But
Falcon,
because he's good.
Falcon, between his speed, his multiple kill moves, his survivability, his like abnormally heavy weight. Pretty sure he's like
he is hard to combo.
He's very hard to combo.
Good Falcons are very hard.
Between him being a fast faller and his heavy ass weight, it is, unless he's at a high percent, he's usually either falling out of it or you have to like do some weird, like usually unorthodox combos, in which case most Falcons, as long as they're like a decent Falcon have really good like defense tech, survivability. They're usually good at getting out of those things on its own right. But like the fact that Falcon can go from point A to point B within a split second, has a stomp that's plus on shield, has a knee that's plus on, has a pretty damn good bear. Like the character's insane. He all he has to do like half the time is just like run around and throw out moves that either oppress the other team or play the pickup game where it's like, oh cool, you pop them up, knee at 7, dead.
Yeah. Done. Not only is he literally probably the best character at getting pickups, which is, in terms of consistency, just one of the best things you could ask for. He also walls a lot of the cast, a deceptive amount of it. Like, I feel like every character below him, he just straight up walls, which is really, really annoying. The speed that he kills is stupid. It's like, to be able to choose between another exchange and just having knee wherever you want is absurd. His up air and his back air in particular for team combos, obviously pretty dumb. Nair is an amazing neutral tool that's hard to deal with, especially as people don't generally stay at lower percents. Even if they are, stomp and knee, obviously. Grab is like, usually grabs aren't that great because they're slow, but Falcon's down throw is like as fast as just getting hit by a normal move, which is it's a really big deal. Like if Falcon grabs somebody and down throws, like usually with grabs it's really telegraphed and you can save them with like a full hop weak aerial, but with Falcon it's just like your character might just not physically be able to reach him. Or them in general. Raptor Boost is so consistent at lower percents for like a lot of the throws that can be inconsistent, like Peach back throw that has like the weird hitbox to it. Raptor Boost just straight up beats, if not like his other 50, I don't know, all of his aerials just don't even have a problem with that. Weak knees, one of the best edge guarding moves, dude. Like a bad recovery on Falcon, I honestly don't want to hear it. Like it's not only is a lot of stuff techable now that people are starting to do, but his wall jump is pretty good, and he can't stall all that much. But up being high is a lot more underrated than I think people give it credit for, because not only is Mario Kart DI annoying, but if you guess right, a lot of the consistent edge guarding moves that people do to Falcon send him up, right? Like Shine sends him down, Falco downer sends him down, Marth downer sends him down. But for the most part, like Peach Nair, I don't know, Sheik Fair, if you don't have a jump, you'll probably die. But like most characters in that situation would die anyway, right? So it's not like
it's not really changing too much.
Yeah, it's not really changing. Like when I think of Marth and Falcon, I think they both literally like struggle almost in the same recovery sense. Marth can stall a little bit in the air, and Falcon can wall jump, which is kind of like the main. They aren't strengths of the character, I don't think. Like their offstage game is not that strong. An exception to edge guarding, both of them with an edge guarding situation, and then how good your recovery is doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But being able to kill a Falcon, or like a lot of characters, if they get hit by a knee off stage, just die. Like Falco dies. Fox probably did. Then you weak knee up air, rising up air. Marth's a little risky, but then you just wait for him to come back on stage. Sheik has a hard time. Puff has a really hard time against Falcon in teams. That's like honestly really bad.
Falcon's a floaty killer in teams.
Yeah. Peach can get away with it, but every other character kind of just gets messed up for free.
Yep.
Yeah, it's brutal. I haven't seen any grab release Falcon punch stuff. That could definitely be a reality. Aerial grab release and regular grab release, kind of both of their branches can be covered by that move, I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked into it. I don't really care that much, but
I'm pretty sure most of the time you'd probably knee anyway, but like it's just another thing he can.
It's just exactly. It's another thing he can do. So like, imagine like Puff relies on it, but Falcon could just do it whenever. Like he can do other things. He doesn't get walled that hard at all. In fact, it's pretty annoying. His dash dance grab game is already dumb enough as it is. I think if Marth didn't have specific teammates he did well with, I think I'd probably switch them. Like, I think if Fox and Sheik and maybe Peach weren't in the game, Marth would definitely be below Falcon. Like in my head, that would be like free.
I could absolutely see that. There's certain team comps where Marth just does way
too well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is Marth really that complicated to explain in teams?
No, I mean Marth has it all. He's got the grab range. All of his throws are team combo friendly. Every single one. His edge guard game is unreal. He's got disjoint because he has a sword. His sword, like, pick your poison. You either can because we've done it with like Sheik Marth, where like
yeah,
you can do like we hit them back and forth, and your moves will either always hit them right back to me, or it pops them up for me, in which case I just follow up and you just like run off. And I don't see many people. I mean, I don't know how many Sheik Marths I've actually seen, but the team combo that we do that I think makes Marth like amazing is like Sheik's fair into Marth's dare.
Yeah.
He's got a good up B out of shield.
His reverse up B is one of the best doubles kill moves.
Yeah, it's really good. And unless you're ready to Omsa tech that within like a heartbeat, you're gonna die.
Smash. If your teammate is shielding and you forward smash, that is unbelievable coverage for your teammate to have, like, you just regain the space instantly.
It's terrifying. And just like also having the tipper mechanic as Marth, like it is
hit stun, dude. That hit stun is so stupid.
It's insane.
Something that I do in particular that I think is really important that people don't generally do. Pichu does it definitely for sure because he actually, like, I don't know, he just in general, right, is just the most, he just understands Marth's role the most and his benefits, but down smash is such a good move in teams. I don't know why nobody does it. It's instant, it's a kill move. It's oddly, not only is it good for tech chases, but it's good for edge guards, right? Because there are a lot of characters where you can hit them with the head of Marth down smash and they get sent down and away. Yep. Like, obviously it's not as, like, ridiculous, but mostly it being the instant kill move. Pivot down smash on reaction is, like, some of the nerdiest stuff that you could possibly do, but it does kill really early on floaties. It's pretty stupid.
I think you've shown me that before, actually.
Yeah,
like just how
really
good
dumb.
Pivot down smash. Terrifying.
Marth. Something that's really underrated is people talk about, like, yes, not only like does Marth have a long grab range so you can grab and hold, but you do less knockback and percent if somebody's being held while you hit them. I guess that was their way of balancing it, but Marth honestly just throws them anyway. Like, you don't have to hold with Marth at all, and generally, especially PewFat, they don't do it unless it's guaranteed, right? Like, if they do it in neutral, they'll throw into something. They don't grab hold and then up smash with Fox if it doesn't kill, right? Like, the space it creates is really important because getting a team combo, trying to get around them when they DI away could be really hard. But you don't have to do that with Marth because his throws are so good. His range is just Marth is one of the best characters in the game at covering platforms and teams. Falcon's really good at it with up air. Sheik is obviously really good at it. The Spaceys are kind of good at it. I don't think as good as, like, Marth or Sheik or Falcon, but
yeah. Your jump's a little too short and your limbs are a little too stubby.
Yeah, and then you have to commit to a full hop if you want to cover. I mean, or you wave land, and that takes time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not disjointed. It's good, not great.
And also one of the things that, like, makes Marth usually, like, one of his very few weaknesses that he has in singles, can't even talk, oh my god, Marthitis, where you can't kill someone at high percent. You don't even need to worry about that. You have a teammate that you 9 times out of 10, if they breathe on them, they die. You don't have to worry, oh man, I fared someone at 150 and they didn't die, they just popped up. Usually your teammate will be like, okay, I fared them at 150 or nared them and they're dead. So what?
One of the new weaknesses that pops up with Marth, which is rare for a top tier to have, like, a new weakness, but Marth's out of shield game becomes much harder. Falcon somewhat, but his roll is so good and he's hard to pin down in the first place. Like, he gets sandwiched, but, like, because Falcon's so heavy, he can roll and then eat it, whatever it is, unless it's like a running grab to cover his roll, but that's hard to get, right? Like, consistently. Through his light shield, he's just so heavy that it's hard to, like, do anything with him, but Marth, that's not the case. If you get a grab on Marth, you can realistically just go ham on him, because his out of shield game's not great. Up B is definitely probably his fastest out of shield. I can't imagine anything's faster.
No, that's it. That's as fast as it gets for Marth.
So, like, getting sandwiched can be difficult, but Light Shield goes such a long way. And especially knowing how to SDI and DI moves properly. Like, you know, if two people are standing on stage and one of them's Fox and they up throw Marth, if you DI the throw away from the other teammate, like, what do you get off of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they forward throw, like, it's kind of the same situation that every other character would be in, right? Where now you're just in a team combo. But, like, sandwiching you can definitely abuse Marth with, but I don't think nearly as hard as, like, it's not nearly as much of a deficit to make him a worse character, I don't think.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I completely agree.
I feel like Falco's pretty obvious. I don't think there's anything that we could really talk about with Falco that would be, like, revolutionary.
I think the only thing that's like underdeveloped in terms of Falco and teams is like proper laser gameplay of like between like grab release lasers, saving your teammate with lasers, disruption with lasers. Because like to use lasers efficiently with Falco, I feel in like top level team is like complete understanding of what your teammate wants to do and where they want to. Because like the few times I've tried Falco with you, I cannot tell you the amount of times I've shot you with a gun. And I'm like, God damn it, man. I'll like full hop. I'll be like, yeah, he's not going to jump up here. Full hop, like cover like high so they have to stay low. Because it also controls space. And then you'll be like, I'm going to short hop Nair. And then my laser catches you and then it stops you right in your tracks into
a disaster.
Yeah, it's complete disaster.
I think Falco's lasers are the second best projectile in the game. I think Sheik needles are first.
Because you can at least power shield lasers, but needles are pretty tricky.
Needles, not only are they like not really power shieldable,
but the angle when you jump, right?
That's really it. Like if Falco could laser 45 degrees down, dude, first of all, that'd be stupid, but second of all, it would make it so much, because part of the thing that we've been running into, the reason that Falco's not higher is because there are some comps that completely diminish his strengths. It's especially Fox. Honestly, mostly Fox. If you smother Falco in teams, it's really difficult. And I'm not saying like smother like pressure his shield every second, but just stay in a threatening range and then light shield his lasers. It's really hard for him to do anything short of run up, grab, or try to jump over you. And in teams, both of those things aren't that great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the classic that we used to do is when we edge guarded someone is one of us would just sit like holding Z shield, just complete light shield. Yeah. And all Falco is trying to do is just laser and trying to get one through us and can't. Like, okay.
The fact that you have to jump with Falco in that situation in order to laser your teammate, not only do they have to go straight up, but Falco having to jump in front of somebody who's in shield is asking to get destroyed.
Oh yeah,
it's just Falco laser saving in teams being that prevalent is really only a thing when the other team is not accounting for it. It's the same thing with rest, right? Like if teams don't account for it, yes, it's good, but if teams account for lasers, it's really hard to get proper lasers off most of the time. It's just I've played a couple good Falcos, but it never felt like their lasers were ever the problem.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that.
But that also might have to do with our team comp, because I think Falco like does crazy well versus everybody lower than him, which is kind of the point. Like I keep saying that, but that's the point of the tier list, right? Is that they're better than the characters under them. I think Falco gives Marth a particularly like really difficult time in teams. I know that QFET, I don't remember which one of them was talking about it, but Falco always gave them a much harder time than everyone else. And I can see that, right? Because Falco forces, not really forces, but when you play against Falco with Fox something, barring double Fox just destroys Falco. That one's like, that's brutal.
Rough. That
it's brutal. But anything other than that, it's like Fox has to shut down Falco. You can't give him the space. And then it becomes not so much. It's played a lot differently than every other character. You can't give him like, I mean, maybe young Link in terms of like having the time to pull a projectile, because even if Peach can pull a turnip, it's not nearly as impactful. But Falco not being able to shoot lasers turns him into like a neutered character.
Yeah, I think Mango one time on his stream said it that you can't play Falco in teams the way that you want to play singles. Yeah. That he almost has like a very specific role that he plays, but he plays it so well. Like you can't just be shooting the gun whenever you want.
Yeah.
I wish I'll have to look for it and I can send it to you. It's like a good 2-minute take of Mango explaining like this is like how you play Falco in teams, and like this is why Falco does what he does so well. I'll have to find it and send it.
Yeah, I think, but the reason that Falco is so high is because he can still do that, right? Like if he gets the space, he can still do that. It's not like you can shut down Falco forever. If you can, you're just destroying him as hard as any other character.
Yeah, at that point, you're just invalidating.
Yeah, we're just pointing out. We have to point out weaknesses, right? Because they have to. That's the reason they're lower than the next two. So Falco can still do it, and the reason that he's so high is because he's so good at creating his own space. It is so stupid how easy it is for him to be where he wants to be. Because, yes, you may not get the super heroic long-term laser, but the right in front of you benefit on shield laser to take a position is so good. His full hop height is dumb for team combos. His height in general is really dumb for team combos. Dare is one of the best team combo finishers I think any character could ever want.
The fact that it's a spike.
Yeah, it's consistent. It's a spike. It kills early. It comes from just him being able to jump that high, right? Yeah, I don't know. His back air's insane. His up tilt's insane. He's like, it's like everything Kirby wishes he wanted to be. You know what I mean? Like roll up tilt back air made Kirby better than the other characters below him, and Falco is like that with exponentially more potential.
Yeah, and one thing that's like it's a small thing and it's so simple is like if you're ever team comboing, like Falco can kill off the top with like shine,
or
like
up B.
You know, like especially like God forbid a floating, you know, like you do a team combo with like Falco Fox, right? Yeah. Fox ends it with up air, and if Falco knows Fox is gonna up air, he can just jump up there, and like you know the puff won't die to the up air or Peach or whoever. And then Falco just shines, and then they're dead.
Yeah,
they're deleted, you know, and it's pretty low percents too.
Yeah, shine is really good, especially on Yoshi's getting the even FD. You can do it, and Stadium. You can do it pretty reliably.
Yeah, exactly.
If not, then you up B, which takes a little bit more prep, and like by the time Fox comes down from, or whoever character you're teaming with comes down from their like team combo turn, I guess they can mitigate whatever situation where Falco's in free fall. It won't be that hard.
Yeah, exactly. And his shine is relatively like team combo friendly. For the most part, like most percents, it's pretty combo friendly. Like you can shine, let's say like Sheik at like 60%, and Falco, if the Sheik decides to hold in, the Falco can like jump up and combo it. The Sheik like SDI's out and the Falco can't catch it.
And you down air.
It's perfect. It's perfect for either like Falco to down air or like their teammate to follow up on.
Yeah.
You know, they don't go too far where like it's out of range for like anyone. Unless you're shining them at like 140.
I think Falco's shine, first of all, can do some really annoying things because a lot of the hit lag can be extended for a lot of moves, and Falco's shine in particular has gotten me with some really like annoying, definitely extended the hitbox, and now I got hit by it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not always as small as it would be in singles. And Shine just sets up for so much for a team combo. It's actually so, like, if you get a Shine with Falco, you have initiated somebody's death, essentially.
Yeah, the one that I saw, Armada, because he was a big advocate for like Falco Puff actually being like a sleeper team, not necessarily one of the best teams, it's like an underrated team.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
he has a clip of it on YouTube of them for like 8 minutes, him and Android teaming. And the one setup that they did that was like eerily consistent, which was a little scary, was Falco would shine at like 10%.
And Marth, they get a rest.
And they get a rest.
Yep.
And that is scary. And like, yeah, you know, we talked about like you can stop the rest. If you're ready for it, you can gate it. You save your teammate, this and that.
Yeah.
But just the fact of how consistently combo friendly his shine is in its own right is scary. Like Falco does not always have to go for killer shine combos or whatever the case may be. You can just shine and let your teammate get it, and then you go for a follow-up after.
That's part of the reason that Falcon has proven to be a really difficult team to deal with.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're right. Shine me. Like,
yeah.
Why is Falco going to go for the follow-up when Falcon's right there?
It's, yeah. I feel like we'll just go over Sheik and Fox really quick. I think Sheik more so because maybe her being at second doesn't make sense to other people. It does. For me, in a heartbeat, it's like not questionable for the most part.
It makes perfect sense. And Sheik basically can aggress if needed. She can support. Almost all of her moves are dumb combo friendly. Fair, bear, nair, up air. Even if I really want, we've done up air combos where if they don't DI away, I get like a jump fair. If they DI away, you get the follow up. Her edge guarding is immaculate. She has needle. She has boost grab, which is, in my honest opinion, like great in its own right, just for like covering like space real quick. She has like really good burst.
Tech chasing pickups.
Tech chasing is really good. Even if I don't go for like tech chase grab, like just the putting someone in a tech chase in its own right in like a second is so strong.
Yeah, the stalling on a tech chases.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy.
My tilts, my up tilt, God forbid, I can just
you just throw it out during a team combo.
That's literally it. Like if we're team comboing someone, sure, up tilt, because they barely go anywhere. I get the follow up. If they're shielding, the second hit is applying enough pressure for you to continue the pressure. I have the poor man's Peach down smash, which is amazing. I mean, the character can do it all. She is like a very, very strongly well-rounded character, and her only genuine weakness is crouch cancel. But in teams,
it doesn't matter as much.
It usually doesn't matter. You know, like half the time, if I ever see you in trouble, I can run up and down smash, and even if they're at low percent, I can relatively get away with it. Yeah. Simply because of like just how well the down smash works, and like even if they're ready to punish me, that down smash gave you all the time in the world to just now.
It ends that situation.
Yeah. I mean the character can essentially do it all. The character is very strong.
I think Sheik is the best edge guarder in teams.
Absolutely.
Not close. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. She can edge guard as low as needed. She can edge guard halfway across the stage with needles. She can do it all. But her like one problem, like her like quote unquote one problem is like she can't just like necessarily outright kill at like 90% or something. She can kill off of an edge guard at 90%. Sure. Yeah. Like if I bear you, you're dead. But then I mean that's like where like Fox is above her, because like Fox will just delete someone in a heartbeat.
Fox, I think, yeah. I mean, so here's the thing. We'll probably maybe cover it in another video, or maybe I'll do it. I don't know yet. But team comps, like the ranking of team comps, as a spoiler, I do not think Double Fox is the best in the game, and I never have, and I never will. I think they're the most oppressive team in the game, but by no means do I think they're the most consistent, good doubles team that I would pick personally.
They have glaring weaknesses that people don't realize. They just think, oh, Fox best character makes best. It's like, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
They can't overlap. Them being off stage together is more so just an unwinnable situation.
Yeah.
Their lacking range really comes into effect, and their combo weight really starts to bite them in terms of the long term.
Yep.
Human consistency is a real factor, and I feel like Sheik is just necessary for consistency and being safer on the edge, like as a whole, is so much more valuable than just being able to back air better in neutral and having shine.
Yep.
IMO. Because all of the things that make Fox the best in the game, you don't need two of. You don't want the stacking double weakness. You want another character to mitigate his only weaknesses. Right? You don't want another character to have the same weaknesses as the one you're trying to mitigate.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it before, or I've said it before, where it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. It's
exactly.
Like, it's like you're gonna have too much of this one thing. It's like it becomes a real issue. You start butting heads.
Getting sandwiched is a huge problem. Theoretically, obviously, that's how it works. In theory, they would be the best team, but that's just not.
Yeah, that's literally in a perfect world, a perfect task. Both players understand exactly what they're going to do at any given moment. Like, you know,
I will say, Fox can kind of struggle versus floaties in team. Double Fox can struggle versus floaties in teams. I don't know. We'll get into that. That's another. I don't want to know. That's like we'll talk about it at some other point. But for the most part, Fox is just on average the best team's character in the game. I don't think there's any
9.9 times
ways around it. Yeah, it's just works on every single team. Has an instant kill move. Can control pretty much any situation with shine. All of his kill moves are good. He can approach. His full hop back air invalidates almost the whole cast. His grab follow-ups are stupid and ridiculous. Down tilt and up tilt in particular are some of the best teams combos moves in the game.
Oh my god, yep.
Paired with his speed, it's just like drill beating crouch cancel straight up, him having good shield pressure. It's just, I don't think there's contention. His lasers stop any sort of puff Samus or that sort of, like if you want to like that end of the spectrum, and then it's just not fair. Like it's not, I think he's not that much better than Sheik, but it's definitely apparent in terms of overall utility.
Yes, absolutely. Because I mean, at the end of the day, he's still Fox. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that alone, in its own right, is terrifying.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think we might have bored every single person in a 20-mile radius.
We solved it. We fixed it.
Yeah. We did it. I mean, this is what I think. This is what I think for the most part you think.
Yeah.
I don't know how many good doubles players will agree with it. I don't know how many